another Monday afternoon. Check your time, 6 minutes past 3. My name is Ernest. Welcome. It's my pleasure welcoming you to another day of broadcast of your favorite program, Politics Now. How has it been? So much going on in the political sphere. A few minutes ago of money laundering based on some allegations against him for some time now that we thought may have been let go, but just been convicted. And of course, earlier in the morning, the Coalition of National Interest Defenders accused the DG of the DSS, that is Yusuf Magaji Bichi, of plotting against the president by calling the CBN governor a terrorism financier. They took a case to court against the CBN governor on the issue of the limit of cash withdrawals and called him a terrorism financier. And at the same time, the CBN governor still traveled out of the country with the president. And the Coalition of National Interest Defenders are saying, why did they allow the president to travel with the CBN governor if they think that he's a terrorist? So they are saying that the DG of the DSS is a saboteur and that he should be arrested and investigated. That is according to the Coalition of National Interest Defenders in a press conference earlier today. These are issues making the rounds in our polity. This afternoon, I am not alone. I have a gentleman here with me in the studio. I don't know how to introduce him. I knew him many, many years ago. He later became the chairman of the NDP. Was that not National Democratic Party? Yes, the NDP. Became the chairman of the National Democratic Party. Then the party went into hiatus. I don't know. Maybe he's going to revive it in some time. He's a journalist, one-time Commissioner for Information in Edo State. I have the pleasure of having in the studio with me Prince Kasim Afegboa, who is joining us today this afternoon. Kasim?
Good afternoon.
Thanks for
and
joining.
quite an age.
It's been an age. We've not seen each other. Yes. You are the one you are avoiding me now. You are a big man, I guess.
No. I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
I'm a partaker in the collective aspirations of Greater Nigeria.
Okay.
And for those of us who are journalists and found ourselves in political circles, it's our responsibility to continue to interrogate issues.
Okay, so let me start like this. What is your take when you look at the political terrain in our country right now with the issues going on and the young people coming up and saying they want to make a change, they don't want the old guard to continue, the PDP, APC and all of that. They are wanting a change of direction for the country and they believe that they want to make that change come the next election.
Through what platform?
Through the ballot box by the next election.
Yes, that's fine. It's a welcome development, Ernest. I must tell you sincerely that it is the only thing that is constant and permanent in life is change. Okay. And so when people wake up and they realize the need for them to make a change through the ballot box, it's a welcome development. It helps to oil the wheel of progress. It creates platform for people to vent and ventilate their positions and anger. It also gives opportunity for the younger ones to also pursue their legitimate aspiration using any vehicle of their choice in doing so. But I'm not one of those who is enamored by this crave for change because, like you rightly said, I joined others to start what they call the National Democratic Party, which was essentially meant to drive generational leadership change and by so doing, get more and more younger Nigerians into our fold to present an alternative.
You dragged me in that time, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, what do we get? When the young ones are coming into your party, they ask you who are the big wigs. And so that mentality has sustained and has endured up to date. And so when I hear people say they are driving change and all that, I ask them, what kind of change are you driving? As we speak now, there are young Nigerians who are representing different political parties. The XDP candidate is a young Nigerian. The ADC candidate is a young Nigerian and all of that. How many supporters are you seeing around them in the bracket of the youths you're talking about? aside from Peter Obi also belongs to the old order, having been the governor for 2 terms and having been part and parcel of the power equation at some point. He was a running mate to Atiku in 2019 and all of that. So they are the same old order. So what I'm saying in essence is that you don't throw away the old order because you want to help the new ones. It's just like Abraham Lincoln would say, that you don't kill an employer because you want to help the employee. So if you hurt the employer, who will take care of the employee?
So how do you think the youth should go about it?
No. You see, every political party has a youth wing. Every political party has a youth appeal. If you go to rallies in all the political parties, you still see youths all over the place. It now depends on your interests, and that is politics. Politics is all about participation. It's all about involvement, inclusiveness, and your ability to get yourself into the system once the aspirations or the manifesto of the political parties fits into your own sensibilities. And so, for me, as a Nigerian, I will always continue to tell people that, see, you just get yourself involved, no matter what you're doing. Be serious, be patriotic. Let's see how we can help the commonality of our interests in terms of our geopolitical divide, in terms of North-South divide, in terms of even building national cohesion, national conversation, so that at the end of the day, whatever you are able to put on the round table as a way of dialogue, you can extract some commitments that will better the lives of the ordinary Nigerian.
Okay.
And so it's a welcome development for any youths to belong to any political party.
Okay.
But I don't see them making and uttering the apple cart in 2023.
Okay, because I don't know. Before we get, you see, some people see you that you are a very controversial person. You sometimes you go against your party. You are still a member of the PDP, I guess.
I have left PDP June 2022.
Okay, this year.
Formally.
Now you used to be a member of the new PDP. On so many occasions you've been able. I know you were a commissioner under Adams Oshomole, and at one time you even went against him, being on the other side. And And some people, they say, when they look, I know you as a patriotic Nigerian, but there are people who see you that, look, that Kasim is a troublemaker. He just wants to set the apple cart and create confusion.
Well, Ernest, sincerely, I do things that please my conscience. Please my conscience in the sense that I am not the typical Nigerian itinerant politician who will be clapping for inanities, banalities, and shenanigans in the name of party loyalty. No, I like to interrogate scenarios because I believe that every situation has got a process, and the outcome is better when the process is seen to be transparent, sincere, honest, and according to the rules. But when you have scenarios where people deliberately backstab you, people just take you on, they betray you, they show ingratitude and all of that, and you'll be clapping for them as, they say that is politics. That guy has is politically savvy. Meanwhile, he has betrayed a cause, he's betrayed a friend and all of that. These are not ingredients that should factorize my conscience as a Nigerian. So oftentimes, I have quarrel with that.
Okay.
I like to interrogate situations. In Edo State in 2016, even though I was a commissioner, I was against Adams Oshomole's choice of Obaseki. And I made it open. I didn't hide it because I don't need to pretend about it.
But some people said, Obaseki, you actually tried to lobby Oshomole to be a running mate to Obaseki.
No.
I read a report by somebody Alaki or something like that. Making that accusation.
No. I will not. The person doesn't even know me.
Yeah, I know.
You see, Ernest, you know me too well. I will not even do that. For ₦1 billion per day, I will not even go near Obaseki as a running mate. What's the meaning of that? I didn't support his aspiration. I supported someone else.
Okay.
And I made my position known. Okay. Even in 2019, as a member of PDP when he came on board, I still raised my resentment and supported the APC candidate, even though I was a member of PDP. All the issues that I tabled before them and leaders of the PDP, they've come to pass. Obaseki has factionalized the Edo PDP. They are in two factions. That Obi faction, the vice chairman of the South-South zone, and Obaseki's faction. You can't come to someone's house all of a sudden you want to appropriate and reprobate everything within the party, to yourself because you feel that you are a governor. Okay. Don't forget that there were people who were running this party ab initio before you discover that the party has a good platform for you to run. Otherwise, what's stop a person from going to AA or APGA or any other party? Okay. So if you found the PDP to be worthy of your aspiration to push it further, you must also respect the status quo, the structure that you've met on ground, and accord individuals their individual and collective respect.
Okay, but Kazim, let's leave it those two.
Yeah.
Let's come back on track to our country. What do you think now when you sit back? I know all this your patriotic zeal and all of that has led you into, some people feel that you have pinched them or something like that based on you believing that there's a way to do politics. When you look at our country now, going towards 2023 and the elections coming up based on the 7.5 years of President Buhari, what do you think we need to do if we are to get that Nigeria? Since you have said that, look, it's okay, you can't throw away the old, we can mix it. If we want to mix it, what do we need to do to get that country so that we can get good leadership going forward from there?
You see, Ernest, I'm an incurable optimist. I believe in this country because this is a country that I reside in. I don't need any visa to live in my country. I'm a freeborn here. I can interrogate issues. I can ask questions. I can take up government. I have been one of the very critical critic of this administration. I didn't pretend about it. Don't forget that I was a foundation member of APC.
That is correct.
I was in Edo State. I served under APC. And at the time I was living in 2017, I made my point known that the president was not doing things in the right direction that I was captured in the manifesto of the APC. They said I was an alarmist and all of that. But I left because I wanted a platform where I could criticize, so that my criticism is born out of the fact that persons and people will understand that when you criticize them, they'll wake up to their responsibilities. Okay. I am not a destructive critic. I'm a constructive critic. I like to engage issues. I'll profile alternatives. If you take decisions as a government or you set up one policy, I'll look at the merits and the demerits of it, and at the appropriate platform or forum, I will tell you this is what I think you should do better and to help the generality of the people. But over here in our climb, we are very adversarial when you want to respond to critics. They call you names, naysayers. They call you doomsday analysts and all of that. They call you all manners of names. But they will not even sit back and interrogate the issues you are raising. That's where I find it different. In other climes, when you criticize government and governance process, people take away the meat of your criticism and see how they can improve on it. But over here, the reverse is the case. They even come after your life. They try to kill you and all of that. I can't tell you how many times I've been chased, coming now from TV stations, going to talk in the night and all of that. I can't tell you how many.
At least I'm a witness to some of the challenges you face in that respect.
Thank you. I have been attacked before. I almost lost my life in the process. So, but it won't deter me from speaking truth to power. You see, now we have aspirants, candidates who are running to collect tickets and all of that, to collect our votes. And my inquiry has always been that in a country as heterogeneous as Nigeria, you need to balance the power algorithms. You cannot, consciously and deliberately try to alter the apple cart by sustaining the power oligarchy in a particular section of the country, irrespective of the political party. Okay. And that's why I left the PDP. I said, see, after a Buhari 8 years, it will be un-Islamic, it will be ungodly for someone to be aspiring that another person from the northern axis should be president of Nigeria. You need to balance all these factors. You see, democracy works better in an atmosphere of stability, tranquility, openness, transparency, and what have you. That is the only way you can translate what you have in your manifesto for the people to benefit from. If there are protestations, agitations, cries of marginalizations, uprising and all of that, it will distract government. Just like now, as we speak, the Southeast geopolitical zone, aside from the second Niger bridge that has been opened about 3 days ago, you nearly cannot point out any tangible project from the Southeast because of protests of the IPOB members and other violent activities in that region. And that also has taken away a lot of potentials from the Buhari administration. Ditto for places where you have banditry, kidnapping and all of that. People will be afraid to even to construct road. You have to put soldiers there, you have to put police, you have to put civil defense and all of that. So you need to get the buy-in of the civil populace in a manner that they will understand that what you are doing is for the national interest. And so for me, as a member of PDP, I told them categorically that anyhow it is, it should be the turn of the South this time. 8 years of power in the North, it should be the turn of the South. But someone who is very ambitious, who wants to make sure that he gets into that position by fire, by crook, by force and all of that, decides to contest. And even when though they are zoning in the party's constitution, they manipulated it and all of that, before you say Jack Robinson, someone probably not emerge. Now,
you're talking of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Yes, of course. Okay. Now, look at the whole thing. You see, democracy talks about rule of law, it talks about process, it talks about equity, fairness, and justice. That's the atmosphere under which democracy can flourish. Now, if a party has in its constitution issue of zoning, and you are saying that no, it doesn't apply this time because you want somebody to win an election before you start talking about zoning. The same reason led Atiku to leave the PDP in 2012, join forces with APC at formation, contested the election, and moved the other persons into APC to defeat a PDP candidate. And in 2017, 2018, he pulled out to contest the primaries of PDP, tried to overthrow APC. And in 2023, he's still the candidate again trying to do this. So, my brother, there's a lot that is taken away from the credibility, the character indices of such a person. And when such a man operates within the realm of contradiction, I can't take you serious as an individual. Because at the level of Atiku Abubakar, he should be playing the role of a father figure, push PDP, let's get a younger element from the South. That's why I commend the northern governors of the APC. They rose up when the chairman was trying to impose a candidate on them. 14 of them had a meeting and took a decision that no, it would be unjust, unfair, and for a candidate of the party to emerge from the North, that it would defeat the very notion of the North-South divide. And so they put together a statement which they issued, and they met with President Buhari and all that, and sold the idea to him. Before you see, at the end of the day, Alhaji Bola Tinubu emerged as the candidate of the APC. Those are governors who understand the peculiarities in the country, governors who understand the heterogeneous nature of this country, and who also want national conversation, national stability, to be able to drive and deepen our democracy. But if you think that it's all about yourself, your aspiration, it is either you or nobody, my brother, you are going to be cultivating crises here and there.
So you see eye to eye with the G5 governors who have been battling the PDP over the issue of IU and Atiku Abubakar, the chairman and the presidential candidate of the PDP.
When you have a national chairman of a party who is dishonorable, and I'm sorry I'm using that word.
I don't know why you're using that.
No. I want to define it.
Okay.
because you see, what defines a personality is his character, his trajectory, in line with how much of respect is given to the spoken word. Ayu on his own spoke on Arise television that if a northern candidate emerges from the PDP, that Ayu, will step down from being chairman of the party. Those were his words. He was not under any compulsion. He was not under any pressure. He spoke them. And I expected that when Alhaji Atiku Abubakar emerged as a northerner, who is a candidate of the PDP, that Ayu would just simply respect the word. You see, Ayu's case is like the fictive character in Wole Soyinka's Death and the King's Horseman. The man who is supposed to be the horseman, who is supposed to be buried with the king when he dies. Election Oba, that's we call it in the Yoruba mythology. Was asking for virgin. And at the time the king died, he wanted to marry a virgin. This is a man who is prime for death as a function of his traditional role as the election Oba. Now, rather than honor that particular role, he was giving flimsy excuses. That's exactly what Ayu is doing now. He's trying to clutch at every available flotsam.
But the Nigerian people believe
no.
Politicians, their word means nothing till then.
You see, this is where we are not helping the system.
Okay.
And it's the reason why you see some of us who still have conscience, we do certain things just to ensure that we don't belong to the bandwagon. You see, you run down politicians, you criticize them all the time, you denigrate them because of the way and manner they conduct themselves. But at the end of the day, the same persons are the ones who will be thrown forward as leaders of the country, and they will be presiding over the collective patrimony of you and I in the final analysis. And this is why I ask someone, why do you prime yourself talking so much about religion in politics? Oh, Christian, oh, not Muslim, and all of that. Religion talks about piety. Religion preaches, honesty of purpose. Religion preaches transparency, justice, equity, and all of that. These are the beautiful attributes of religion and good conduct. So that when you die, when you are facing your creator, you will be assessed based on your positive life and as against your negative aspect of your life. Now, politics in itself, they call it dirty game. And because it's dirty, it's expected that dirty people play it. That is why people like Ayu will make a promise and is now disobeying that promise, and people are clapping for him. That's the problem. Now, in politics, they stab you in the back, they betray you, they call you names, you steal money, you are bribed, you do this, you do that. They clap for you. Yet, you want to equate politics and religion together. I said, no, there are two parallel lines that can meet. One should naturally help to school, orientate, and educate persons to become better politicians rather than mixing the two together. Because while politics talks about our activities here on earth, religion is talking about the hereafter. The reward for being a good Christian or a Muslim is what happens in the hereafter. You and I don't know what happens in the hereafter, but that is our belief system. Okay. We are hoping that when we die, we will be placed on the right side of God, either paradise or heaven. Now, in politics, the reward is here. When you see bad governance, the bad governance will be observed here. You will see it in the hereafter. When you have good governance, you will feel the impact of the good governance right here on earth. So for me, I wouldn't want to behave like Ayu. That was why I left the PDP, because I had made it categorically clear that it is the turn of the South without sounding immodest. It's just a thing that should help the country to grow so that we don't have mutual suspicion, we don't have this ownership structure of the country.
But what about the issue of competence that people talk about sometimes?
You see, there is nothing like competence that does not exist anywhere in the country. Ernest, my little village of Okpola can produce a president of this country in Kasim Afegboa. I have all it takes to interrogate issues, and all it takes to generate policies and programs.
When are you going to do that, Kasim?
I don't have the resources, and I can't deceive myself. People say, oh, we know they spend shishi. There is no politics that is not expensive. There is no politics all over the world that's not expensive. You need money, you need resources, you need men and women. So I won't pretend about that. But I can tell you that in 2024, I want to try my hands in the governorship of Edo State. I have paid my dues. I have part and parcel of a power process over there. I know my state very well, the 18 local governments. I know persons and factors who can also help me and assist me. So if I'm able to do that, at least let me live. It is not just about criticism.
Okay. On what platform will you be doing that?
I wouldn't know yet.
Okay, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm not a member of any party as at present.
Okay.
I'm only a supporter of the Tinubu presidency.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you the question, how do we move forward? Because Nigerians are really I don't know the word to use, whether there is frustration, there is a jackpot syndrome, so many things going on. Nigerians are abandoning their country, going to other countries, making excuses and things like that. What do you think is the right path for Nigerians to pass through to get it right in 2023?
Ernest, I have a different perspective on the issue of jackpot syndrome.
Okay.
There's nothing bad in mobility, that citizens' mobility.
But they are doing it out of frustration.
No, listen.
Okay.
Listen. You see, people say they are doing it out of frustration. On the one hand, you say they are doing that out of frustration. On the other hand, you celebrate remittances to the economy of the country. But don't forget,
okay,
Cuba consciously trained medical doctors to give to the world, and they repatriate the money back home to develop their country. So you don't just say people because people are jackpotting or leaving the country and all of that. You see that there's nothing like brain drain.
But because some people say that these people, if they were here, if the conditions were right, their contributions here will be far more than whatever remittances they are making.
Listen,
if the conditions are right,
you have over 200 million Nigerians. If 10 million decide to leave and you have 190 million left, are you in short supply of ideas? Are you in short supply of brains? The question you should be asking yourself, Ernest, is the same question I keep asking. Where is our science academy? What are they developing for the country in terms of inventions? What are the innovations they are bringing to the system? Where are your pharmacists? What kind of drugs are they producing for us? Why must we be importing drugs from China, from all these other places? We have brilliant pharmacists. They call them all manners of names. They have titles, labeled, after their names. What are their impacts? If you cannot produce drone in this country with your scientists who are professors, some emeritus professors in theory, and in practice they are dry-headed, then you begin to interrogate your curricula. You can't just sit back and you want to spoon-feed the country with theoretical experimentations. You need to put it into practice and generate ideas. We can't manufacture guns. We can manufacture guns. We can manufacture small ammunitions. Everything is all about importing. If America is not helping us helping us with ammunition, if Russia is not
talking about two big things. I was at a shop nearby, and soap and cream were imported from Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, and I was laughing. Yes.
No, Ernest, we got to be serious. We really got to be serious. You see, I have listened to all the candidates talking, preaching, and all of that. Anytime they ask, for example, the PDP candidate, anytime they ask him, I will do this. Nobody is even say, okay, I won't be able to do this. And it is not easy. And the moment you see a candidate say, I will do this, if they talk about this, I will prioritize this, just to suit the whims of the people, it is the more reason why you begin to interrogate such a person. Because we need leadership that can take hard decisions, look at the people in Fiza and say, see, we're going to go through hard time in the next 2 years. Okay. But in the third year, things may improve, but this is how I want to do it.
You think a candidate wanting to win elections can do that in this our country? I would have loved to hear a candidate say that.
You see, this is just my orientation. This is what I'm thinking about. And I have interacted with all the 3 dominant candidates, even 4 of them.
4, yeah.
Kwankwaso, Obi, Tinubu and Atiku. I was spokesman of the PDP campaign in 2019 when Atiku and Obi were the candidates. We've listened to them. It is still the same. See, if you are still championing the same ideas of 2019 in 2023, that means you are not upwardly mobile. Things that have happened in the country as a consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic has thrown up new areas, new ideas that alter the whole global narrative. And so for me, I will want people who can look at our local peculiarities and take decisions that will suit those local peculiarities. And when you talk about restructuring, I'm not going to be jumping at it because it was one of the items before in APC manifesto. I'm not going to be jumping at that. But I'm looking at individuals who had the capacity and the courage to interrogate issues and say, this is what I'm going to do, no matter what happens. And that's why I took Tinubu. Tinubu is very courageous, very bold. He was one of those who fought.
So you're in support of the Asiwaju candidate presidency?
Very well so. I don't pretend my sentiments.
So many people have complained about him that he has some dubious background. They don't trust him. How did he make his wealth? And this is causing another problem between him and some media houses in Lagos. And people are raising issues that he's even refusing to speak to Nigerians. Let's see how we can talk to us. We have a leader who has not spoken, who doesn't speak to us.
Ernest, please don't join the
I'm not joining, I'm a journalist.
No, listen. Don't join the bandwagon of those who are making all this noise. One, I must tell you, can you point at any of the candidates and the front-runner candidates, anyone who is poor? Can you tell me one of them? Can you also tell me, have you also interrogated
all of them have been involved in fleecing Nigeria over the years?
Wait. It depends on how you say it.
Okay.
Can you tell me any of them who is poor? Can you also tell me
that's true.
Why is the same media house not asking questions about how those people made their money? There are people who took opportunities they had as vice presidential candidate, vice president of this country and all that to help themselves. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, after being governor of Nigeria in 8 years,
Lagos State,
governor of Lagos State for 8 years, has not been involved in any government after that. Even the Buhari government that he participated in, he was not given any position. So you can, if you have access to the kind of information that we don't have, volunteer us. If you know the account number and what he has there, you let us know. But for me to be joining bandwagon of public opinion, this one is so rich, what is the source of his income and all of that. The television house you're talking about town hall meetings. Ernest, when you wanted to invite me for this program, you placed a call to me. You say, will you be chanced to appear on my program for 3 to 4 on Monday? And I asked you questions. Where is your television? Where is your radio station? You told me. And I said, okay, I'll check my schedule. If it suits me, I'll show up.
You'll respond, yeah.
You have accorded me the respect and recognition that I need to be contacted. But when you have a presidential candidate and a media house is organizing a town hall meeting, you just feel it is your moral responsibility or it is your corporate responsibility to so do without consulting the candidates, and you feel that because you're a media platform, you want to be an ombudsman, you want to speak on behalf of the people, you want to invite them and all of that. If it doesn't suit my own schedule, I won't attend. It's as simple as that. Tinubu has got his own schedule. Arise TV has got its own schedule. You are organizing a town hall meeting. You have to consult the candidates and make sure that you have their buy-in. The fact that you are a media platform does not arrogate to you the ownership of the schedule of the other person. That's the truth. Yes. So when you didn't contact Tinubu and only you seen your promo and your thriller on the social media, whatever, or on advertisement on your TV station that is appearing for you are doing a debate, how do you want him to attend when he has his own program? Yeah. Meanwhile, Tinubu has been most strategic in the campaign so far, and I give you the reasons why I say this. He's done a lot of town hall meetings. I have participated in 2. I've seen him respond to questions. He went to Mina. He addressed the crop growers and the farmers. He went to Lafia. He spoke to them. He went to Kano, spent 4 days. He went to Lagos, engaged the organized private sector. They asked questions. He answered them, and all of that. Yeah, and he's been articulating his action plan. Okay. And now you think that, you want to put him on a box so that you can begin to ask some questions and some funny questions. Meanwhile, the anchors of this program are members of the PDP. Can members of the PDP.
We agree with all of that, but the point is, Nigerians also feel that we need him on a national platform.
Yes,
to address us generally directly. The way he will do in case he becomes president.
Ernest is going to do that. February 25 is the election. You still have about 2 good months to go. He's going to do that. They are all captured in his program. He's going to speak to Nigerians. He's going to go to television stations and speak.
Okay.
He's going to articulate. He's going to articulate
his
issues.
To be
He's going to. Yes, he's going to articulate his issues and all of that. He's going to speak to them. He understands them. I hope somebody is not saying that Tinubu does not know how to speak.
I agree that the media should not be antagonistic. I agree with
definitely,
that.
Definitely, yes. And these same persons who are shouting blue mother are members of the opposition PDP. Ruben Abati contested as deputy governor.
But they may have left the PDP now.
No. Like see, let me tell you, he was spokesman to the PDP president in 2015.
Kasim, I remember about 2002, 2003. You dragged me to the NDP.
Yes, of
but
course.
I'm not the politician now.
Dragging you. If he's back as a journalist, his whims and caprices will also be dictated by the sentiments he shared for the PDP government, because he was spokesman to the president under the PDP platform. And so he also contested in 2019 here, as a deputy governorship candidate in Ogun State. And so when you see the kind of way they ask questions and the way they are antagonistic on air, you will know that they are still members of PDP. Look at the way Adbati attacked Yeson Wike. As an anchor of a program, just like you may have your ideas, you may have your position on issues, but you cannot use your position on issues to determine the type of questions you want to be asking someone. You must be fair and balanced. That is what I was taught in Nigerian Institute of Journalism. And they will always tell you that you have to balance the message and the messenger and the media owners and their sentiments, because there are oftentimes they want to breathe down your throat that no, this news is adversarial, is not favorable to me. But the test of true journalism is for you to state the facts as they are and leave the public to be the judge. That's what I was told.
How does this one now? Because for now, Nigerians feel disillusioned with this current government, which also you have said that at a certain level you were not satisfied. How does Tinubu, the man you say you were supporting him now, how does he sell that when the government?
Say don't fall into the bad wagon again. Say some Nigerians.
Yes, I'm just asking.
Say some Nigerians are disillusioned, not Nigerians.
Yes,
some.
Of course.
No, you have to quantify them, yes, because that is the right question to ask.
Yeah.
To always make sure that you use the right preposition and all that. The point is, it is not every political party produces credible, performing presidents all over the world. The Democratic Party in America, the Republican parties have had their own fair share of bad and good leadership. It doesn't eliminate the party from contesting for election in the next exercise. Donald Trump was one of a catastrophe in terms of attitudinal disposition. But there are people who believe that he did so well as a president, even though his style became uncommon. You get the point.
He had over 60 million votes in the second election.
Thank you. And that also suggests that in the next election he may be putting himself up to contest.
He announced he will do that.
Thank you. So the point is, a political party that has come to stay will not be detained by the kind of cacophony of voices here and there. It is for it to sit back and take a critical look at what it has done over these last 7.5 years and begin to interrogate decisions that have been taken and see which one can be taken more differently. And talking about our economy under this dispensation, I told someone, if you assemble 10 economists of world standard to proffer solutions to Nigerian economic problems, you are going to get 10 solutions, not one. Yet they are economists, because there are no determinable direction for economists. It's all about trial and error. That's what seasoned economists have written. I've read them, and I want to believe them, because you say Nigeria is an open market system, it's a liberal economy. This our economy has no form. You can't say it's capitalist oriented, you can't say it's welfareist, you can't say it's liberal and all of that. It's a concatenation of several, economic models. And so what you need to do as a government is to look at your local peculiarities and take decisions that are very hard on the elite of the country, because even the businessmen, Federal government is giving tax waiver to some persons, import waivers to some persons, at the detriment of others. That's not a fair. That's not a fair platform.
That's exactly where I wanted to go. Okay, I know you
want
to finish your thought.
Let me land. Yes,
okay,
let me land.
That thought quickly.
Yes, because at the end of the day, if it is not the ease of doing business, if it is not seen to be a level playing field, you are going to be having a select few getting so rich and so many getting poor. So what you need to do as a president or as a leader of the country is for you to damp all consequences. And the reason why I'm supporting Tinubu is because I see him as somebody who can drive the elite consensus. You need a buy-in of the elite to certain policies and programs. Having been an activist, one dominant voice in the fight for Nigerian democracy, both at home and in exile, Tinubu understands the nuances around the country, the intricate logic, the dynamics and all of that, and can rally the elite together to agree on certain unassailable issues with respect to our unity in diversity. Okay. So for me, I wouldn't want to support a perennial candidate. Yes, okay. A perennial candidate.
All right. Just quickly to inform you, you're hearing the voice of Prince Kasim Afegboa, former chairman of the National Democratic Party so many years ago.
A lot of people don't know that I was chairman of the party before.
That's why I'm trying to remind them, because that's a fact I have at the tip of my fingers, that he was chairman of the National Democratic Party, one time Commissioner for Information in Edo State. He's joining me this afternoon to look at issues generally on Nigerian politics. And I just discovered here, I didn't know before, that he is a supporter of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's campaign to be the president of Nigeria. Now, Kasim, I had a guest here, and what he told me is that there are some persons who are holding Nigeria to ransom, that they are the ones who benefit, which you alluded to just now. Is it possible? People have said, and some people believe, I don't know how true it is, that Tinubu is, if not possible, one of those people. How is it possible? Because I think that's what you were trying to drive at. We need a leader to remove the hand of these people so that the majority can benefit. That there are a few people. We are so hungry in Nigeria, and we are seeing private jets flying when certain issues are going on, and we're asking, how did these people get this private jet? We don't see the businesses and jobs they created. So how do we get the elite to allow the ordinary persons to benefit from the wealth of Nigeria?
No,
Tinubu will Tinubu be able to do that?
You see, Ernest, let me tell you, in every country there are several scenarios, and those scenarios are informed by our attitudinal orientation. When you go to the village and you can dispense a little bit of cash, you are celebrated as a chief, local chief. And each time you are coming home, people gallivant around you. They salam themselves around you. They herald your arrival with pomp and pageantry, just because they feel that you have something. So there's an attitude issue in terms of our orientation. When you have an ostentatious populace, ostentatious in terms of our crass materialism, then you are likely going to be seeing the kind of behavioral tendencies that keep factorizing our politics and our social engagements. You don't have money. You lost your dad or your mom. You want to throw a party. After you finish throwing your party, you are broke to the ass. And you begin to lament. You've given birth to a child. You want to do naming ceremony. You don't have resources.
Nigerians know this very well.
No. Wait. That's what I'm telling you. All you need is a conscious, deliberate, and sustained effort at attitudinal orientation. You need that very critically. And I keep telling people, when we were campaigning at some point in Edo State, somebody was telling people, say, it's one man, one vote. If they bring money for you, collect, but because it's your money they are giving you. But vote your conscience. To a large extent, that one man, one vote did work. You understand what I'm saying? But it has to be sustained across board. That is one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is that who will bear the cat? We keep hearing all these kind of commentaries, talk, this, that, protestations, and all of that. But if you interrogate the human element in us, in our own individual homes, we'll behave worse off. Okay. So it's a big issue in Nigeria. All I'm telling you is that we need a leader that can take an aggregate position of all these issues, to be able to drive a national conversation that will lead to productivity and unity in diversity. You need a man who can dialogue. I think Tinubu is very good at that. Having been a pro-democracy activist, he was able to interrogate all the issues, stared into the eyes of the military, and send them back to the barracks. But for democracy, now that Tinubu is contesting for the first time, they should have been accorded that recognition. You can't take it away from me that
it's not a trophy. Presidency
no.
It's not a trophy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I say, but for democracy.
Okay.
But that's what I'm telling you, that he's standing, is standing tall among men and women who want to talk about the history of Nigerian democracy in the Fourth Republic. And so, for that reason, I am of the opinion that he understands the issues better than every other candidate. Okay. There's no pretense about that. He also knows how to groom capable hands. And those who have worked with him, you can't challenge them in terms of their intellectuality, in terms of their brilliance, in terms of even the ideas they bring on the table. The mere fact that he's been able to sustain a line of succession in Lagos, and Lagos seems to be working better than what it was pre-1999, is also a credit to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You may not like him, you may not like his face. He's human. Not everybody will want to like him. But when you look at the aggregate, common interest, I think Tinubu is far, far better than every other candidate I have seen.
That's your own opinion.
I say okay. That's my own opinion.
Okay.
And don't forget that I have been actively engaged in politics since 1996. I have seen different campaigns. I've seen individuals. I've seen persons. I've seen those who are pretenders. I've seen people who are preaching sanctimonious sense. I've seen those who are pretentious. And I can conclude that, yes, the man is not just bold, is also very courageous. He looked Obasanjo in the face in pre-1999, post-1999, when they held his allocation. He took him to court. Lagos State allocation. Okay. He took him to court, up to Supreme Court, and he won that case. Even though the money was held back, he was still able to perform and deliver democratic dividends. So those kind of leaders are very rare in this climate.
Okay, so you believe that because these are the challenges Nigerians face now: corruption,
of course.
The country that produces banditry, electricity, and all of that. So you believe that Tinubu has a template to do this, to create employment for our children?
I want to believe that you have looked into his manifesto.
But Kasim, you said that these are words like you're chasing a woman. You tell her all kinds of things. That's what politicians do all the time.
Yes, we have to woo the voters. But when you win the voters, we also have to tell the voters the antecedents of the candidates. We also have to look at someone who has been contesting elections since 1992, 30 years now, who seems to think that it is his birthright to continue to contest and hold.
It's a democracy,
no.
Like you said.
See, we're not interrogating issues. We're interrogating issues. If they ask me in a class to define the candidates, these are some of the things I will say, because you need to be strategic even in aspiration. Okay. You also have to understand that it shouldn't be about you, I, myself, and me alone. It has to be the collective. So, for 2023, I feel very strongly that it is the turn of the South.
Okay.
In a country of several ethnic multiplicity, with the intricate logic of Nigerian tripod arrangement, with minority rights, protestations, agitations, and here and there, you need presidency from the South. And among the Southern candidates, two are dominant: Peter Obi and Tinubu. I can't support two of them, so I supported one.
Okay.
Others will support Obi, fine. Okay. But you need to balance the political algorithms of the country in this North-South divide, so that there could be a sense of belonging amongst the major dominant players, so that this mentality of ownership structure that is skewed in line with in one zone against the other will be eliminated, and people can drive national productivity, national patriotism in a way and manner that they believe in the system and not just pretentiously doing so.
Okay.
So for me, there are quite a number of challenges. The job is not that of Tinubu alone to do. The job is between all of us, amongst all of us, you, Ernest, myself, and the ordinary person out there. It is good. You can say people are like Buhari. I have been one of the ardent critics of President Buhari. But 3 days ago, he opened the second Niger bridge. One good thing about him, which he has done, is to continue projects that were commenced before him.
That's correct.
Railway.
Not to waste
resources. Yes. And the utility value they bring to the ordinary person. The railway system is one. It continued.
Okay.
The second Niger bridge is another. And anybody who is driving that, I was seeing, even Soludo of Anambra commending Buhari just yesterday.
I saw that as well.
Yes. So, you see, a man cannot be completely bad. He may not be the speaking type, even though he has some, spokesmen that are not interrogating the issues well for him. They are compounding his problems for him. But again, he has done some good things in some areas, and some other areas he needs some pep up.
All right.
So I am not one blind critic that says, oh, nothing good comes out of this man. No. I won't say that. But again, you need national conversation. You need to sustain the narrative so that our leaders are put on their toes morning, afternoon, evening, night. We need leaders who can stay awake when the country is sleeping. And I told people, I said, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, till 4 a.m., is awake.
He's a politician. He has to stay awake.
Okay. Now, if you can stay awake when the country is asleep, that's what you need to drive this economy.
Because we have run out of time. We've run out of time. You just heard the voice of Prince Kasim Afenboa, former chairman of the National Democratic Party. I need to knock that into the minds of our listeners so that they know that you were one-time chairman of a political party. And we look forward to seeing you in positions where you can articulate and practice some of these things that you say all the time. I want to thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I hope you will join me again.
It's a pleasure. Anytime.
We cannot finish this conversation.
Anytime. When it comes to conversation, I don't run away from them. Because that's the only way you can educate the minds of the people out there.
Okay, I want to thank you so much again. And
it's a pleasure.
When you're with Kazim here, you just talk and we couldn't take a break to bring you into the conversation, but I'm sure somewhere along the line we'll have an opportunity, you the listener, to bring you on board on the conversation. I want to thank you so much for being there. Also my colleagues in the studio who have helped to make this a success for us to get to you very well. I want to thank them, Fred, Didi, and the rest of them. My name is Ernest. We'll be seeing you tomorrow with another edition of Politics Now. Just have your